This idea of mobile first, which is something that I put out there back in 2008, 2009, essentially consisted of three parts. One was at that time, back in 2008, 2009, it was pretty clear mobile was going to eat the planet. It just wasn't clear when and how exactly that was going to play out. So one of the reasons for thinking about the mobile experience first was to take advantage of that opportunity. Like, here's where all the growth is going to come. Here's where all the biggest set of new users online is coming from. Be prepared. The second piece to it was, look, the large screen form factor and sort of the precise input of the mouse and the keyboard has really made us lazy. It's allowed us to create interfaces that just give people 50 options, because frankly we can fill the page with 50 options. We don't have to do the hard work of deciding what matters, when, and how. When you come to mobile, you lose 80% of your screen space typically. You've got just these fat thumbs as your interaction points. The networks are slow. And so all of a sudden you have to really focus in on what matters, and it forces real prioritization. You have to make tough decisions. So I thought that was not only good for mobile, but also good for any experience to have that kind of focusing. And the third point was, again, think back to 2008, 2009, mobile phones could tell where you were. They could sort of tell the direction they were facing. They had a gyroscope, they had a magnetometer, they had an onboard camera and microphone. They had all these things that desktops and laptops didn't have, which, while smaller screens and lower networks are constraints, those were opportunities. Right? Those are ways to rethink the experience. So the idea of starting from the mobile experience first was, here's the opportunity. It forces you to prioritize and focus, which is good for customers and for businesses. And at the same time, you got all these new tools, these new capabilities to start painting experiences with. So that 1, 2, 3 punch I thought was a really, really big deal. And hence why ultimately that turned into a book and a lot of talking, trying to get people on board. Nowadays, you don't really have that challenge of convincing people mobile's a big deal. But you still do have a lot of companies stuck in doing what they've always done. And even when they say mobile is important, when it comes time for them to build either their mobile website or native app, they're still thinking our desktop thing in the back of their head. And it's really, really hard to sort of let go of that baggage and think differently.